Gallagher is going to be releasing alongside Acheron at the beginning of version 2.1 about a week from now. So today I want to discuss his kit as was shown in the 2.1 live stream, and I also do want to talk about how much value he might have and how good I think he could end up being, to see if he's going to be worth investing in, especially since he is a 4-star character. Now, before I even get into the kit, I just want to say I did want to have this video out a day earlier than I'm actually putting it out, but I did want to think a bit more on how I feel about Gallagher, because I do think that he is a very interesting case, and kind of has some similarities to Lynx in terms of his viability, but I'm gonna get to that when I get to my overall thoughts afterwards. So, starting out with Gallagher's kit. So for his skill, it's very simple. It just will heal a single ally. This is important to note though, because his skill does not have a cleanse on it, and as we'll see with his entire kit, he does not have any kind of cleanse, which a lot of players have. They hold cleanse in high regard, so that's going to be a very important thing for him not to have. So definitely do keep that in mind. For his ultimate, he's going to deal damage to all enemies, and by using ultimate, he'll enhance his next basic attack, and the ultimate will apply a special debuff to all enemies that'll increase the amount of break damage they take for a set number of turns, which is going to be really nice because if you are able to get that weakness break on those enemies, you are going to be able to do some extra damage upon getting the weakness break. So very solid there for his ultimate. Bit interesting too, considering that he is an abundance character, but he is able to provide a debuff that will increase your break damage, so it does give him some interesting utility for sure. But you also do see that he does not have a heal on his ultimate. But once we get to his talent, we'll see some more of his healing there. But first, his enhanced basic attack will damage a single enemy and will also be able to lower their attack as well, which is going to be very nice. Plus also, since I do think that, while we don't have it confirmed or anything, I do think that it's likely that since he does have the extra break damage part of his ultimate, with the debuff, that you might want to build break effect on him. So yeah, with that, you should be able to get some very solid breaks with Gallagher, which does give him a pretty unique role, I think. Then for his talent allows allies to heal themselves whenever they attack enemies that have the special debuff from his ultimate. And I think this is a really interesting way of handling healing, because all the other healers so far, for a lot of them, you pretty much are just like either manually healing them or having some kind of like healing over time, at the start of their turns or stuff like that. And then you have Locha's field, which is like probably the closest thing to this. But now this is pretty much just like a lifesteal kind of mechanic, where whenever an ally attacks an enemy that has Gallagher's debuff, they'll be able to get some health back as well, which should be very good, especially if you are running a faster team, because you'll be able to get more attacks in for sure. Then lastly for his kit, his technique will automatically begin battle, and it will apply that special debuff to every enemy, which is really good to start battle with, since you'll be able to make sure you get some healing right away, especially if you're dealing with some of those faster enemies. So that can be a really powerful thing as well in certain situations. So now I'm going to move on to my thoughts about Gallagher's viability and some possible synergies as well. I do think that in terms of his viability, he is going to be in a similar situation as Lynx, where I think that they both have a clear set, teams where they're going to be valuable, or like more valuable than maybe some other healer options outside of, like the limited 5 stars, because a lot of the times those are just going to be better in every situation. But I do think that there are specific comps where you are going to get more value out of Gallagher than some of the other 4-star free-to-play options. So the first of these are going to be break effect teams, and I really wanted to highlight Ruan, Mei, and Shui Yi for that, because since Ruan Mei gives you the extra weakness break efficiency, you'll be able to get them broken faster, and then Shui Yi is able to get her stacks to get her follow-up attack when you damage an enemy's toughness. So by having them on a team with Gallagher, you are going to be able to enhance that even more, because you are going to get some extra break damage, plus Ruan Mei's extra break damage as well from her talent. You're going to be able to not only weakness break them very often, but you're going to be able to get some very solid damage as well. Plus with Ruan just being an amazing support, that play style is definitely benefited by Gallagher for sure, if you're using him as your sustain. Then the second comp here that I think would be really good for Gallagher as well are dot comps, because well, not only do dot comps typically run Ruan now, but if you don't have Huo, you can use Gallagher to not only break the enemies, but also just them being broken in general to increase the damage. You are going to be able to you're just going to be able to apply the attack lowering debuff with his enhanced basic attack to not have some of these nihility characters that could end up being a little squishy take like a super insane amount of damage from enemies. But also the break is going to allow you to get more instances of dot on them because they're not going to be able to move. Plus when they recover from their break, they will take dot. So things that benefit weakness break are always just going to be helpful for dot comps, so that they can have more instances to apply their dots and more instances to activate them without having as much risk for them, because all the dot characters, they are nihility, and they definitely are not like the tankiest in the world. And while Gallagher does have healing for them for sure, I do think that also impacting the amount of time, like damage that they're taking while broken, and also just probably having some solid break in his kit as well. I do think the Gallagher can be very valuable for those kinds of setups. So yeah, if you were wondering why I said earlier in the video that Gallagher was in a very similar situation as Lynx, is because they both have specific types of teams where they're going to be more valuable than other 4-star options. Like I think when it comes to break teams, Gallagher is going to be more valuable than Lynx, and of course more valuable than Natasha. But then there's going to be teams where Lynx is more valuable, and Natasha is kind of just there, as we all know, as a sustain. So overall, while I think Gallagher might not measure up to some of the other sustains, like specifically the limited 5-star ones, and then Bailu is just a whole different situation, of course, and you all know I have my opinion on Bailu, because I think she's better than people make her out to be. But I do think that in the situations where Gallagher is, able to, get weakness breaks, whether from him or the entire team in general, and just benefit off of those, he's going to be a very good option for those teams. But if you don't focus on either like the weakness break or dot play styles, then he's probably not going to have as much value for you to invest in unless you severely are lacking in sustains and aren't planning on pulling either Locha or Aventurine in this coming version. But let me know in the comments down below what you all think about Gallagher. I do think that he is going to be good overall as a sustain. Is he going to be like the best? I don't think so. But he definitely is going to be another option for players, especially since we're getting the free 4-star selector and he's going to be on it. So, since I don't plan to do like either many or even any summons during the Acheron banner, I probably will get Gallagher through the 4-star selector so I can test him out and give my, more thoughts on him like that. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, guys, definitely be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can see more content. But with that, I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.